I don't know how I'm going to eat crow this way. You know, I've been saying all along there's no voter fraud, and then occasionally some evidence gets thrown in my face in the middle of this Arizona recount, and I just I have to admit that there were some dead people who voted. You know, remember when we talked about Mike Lindell saying dead people voted? He was right. I'm sorry. Let me show you what happened. Here it is. MAGA fan accused of murdering his wife, then fraudulently submitting her ballot for Trump. Prosecutors. Guy's being on trial for murder. The woman disappeared over a year ago. She voted for Trump, though. Yeah. Dead voter for Trump. Remember when I was saying that they're like, all these dead people voted, and for some reason they get to assume that all those dead people votes are for Biden somehow because he won? When in reality, every time shit like this shows up, we saw that one guy who voted for his mom who died, and he voted on behalf of her for Trump, even though she'd been dead. This dude murdered his wife. Wait, the quote on this is amazing. This is the dude right here. A supporter of former President Donald Trump has admitted to committing voter fraud by submitting the ballot of his dead wife, whom he is also accused of murdering. Local news KDVR reports that Colorado MAGA fan, I wonder if he and his dead wife voted for Boebert as well. Barry Morphew, which sounds like a villain's name, was hit with new election fraud charges this week after prosecutors discovered that he illegally sent in his late wife's ballot to give the former president an additional vote in last year's presidential election. When asked by the investigators about submitting his wife's ballot, Morphew admitted to doing so, but insisted she would have voted for Trump were she still alive. Check this out. I wanted Trump to win, the man admitted. I know she was gonna vote for Trump anyways. Morphew also rationalized that Democrats were supposedly committing massive voter fraud, so he figured giving Trump an extra vote would help even out the score. Do we have the murderer demographics for, you know, who went red, who went blue? Just saying. Morphew also Morphew was arrested for the murder of his wife, Suzanne, last week, roughly 1 year after she was last seen alive. In addition to facing charges related to election fraud, Morphew is also being held on without bail on charge of first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant. I don't know if he, did he influencing a public servant? Did he try to bribe the cop while he had her in the trunk?
Barry Morphew now facing one felony count for allegedly forging public documents and a misdemeanor mail-in ballot offense for allegedly using his dead wife's ballot to cast a...
I gotta say, that shouldn't be a misdemeanor. If you killed the person and voted on their ballot, there should be a felony voter fraud thing for that.
Fraudulent vote for President Trump in November. All of this, of course, happening at a time when Morphew was under the microscope by law enforcement following the disappearance of his wife, Suzanne. So according to the arrest affidavit, investigators responded to the Chaffee County Clerk and Recorder's Office after the clerk made a report of alleged voter fraud, telling investigators...
So he was turned in by the clerk.
Investigators, they'd received a presidential ballot from that missing woman, Suzanne Morphew. The ballot did not contain Suzanne's signature, but it did list Barry as the witness.
It didn't have a blood thumbprint or anything like that?
The FBI says agents...
By the way, holy shit. Back up. Will that back up? That is the... that they were standing under that antler arc. That's... that was used in Any Which Way You Can. That's where the fight ends in Any Which Way You Can. Right under that antler arch.
Agents interviewed Barry about it on April 22nd, just days before his arrest on the murder charges. And in that conversation, when the FBI agents asked Barry why he'd submitted Suzanne's presidential election voter ballot, Barry replied, "Just because I wanted Trump to win."
Jesus Christ.
When discussing the ballot submission, Barry further stated, quote, "I thought I'd give him another vote. I figured all these other guys are cheating, and I know she was going to vote for Trump anyway." When FBI agents asked Barry if he knew that it was illegal, Barry replied, quote, "I didn't know you couldn't do that for your spouse."
Asshole, she wasn't your spouse. She was no longer his spouse. She was a corpse. And for the record, when you get married, It's till death do us part. You fucking parted with her on purpose, you prick. She was no longer your spouse once you killed her. What the hell? Yes, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Barry was arrested. He made his first court appearance in Chaffee County last week and has yet to enter a plea to any of the charges he's facing. He's due back in court on May 27th.
Yeah, and he's going to stay in jail during that time because he's a murderer. And I want to say, hold on, let me see if I can find this. Was it the Daily Beast had this? So I saw this story show up in a couple of... Yeah, I saw this show up in a couple of places. Where is it, dude? Yeah, there we go. No, thank you. There you go. Colorado, there you go. This is, I want to see, hold on. I already support you guys. Let's quit. Okay. I wanted Trump to win. Husband charged in wife's murder, also used her name to vote. I mean, if this isn't the exemplary, next time you hear about the violent left, I'm just saying, Christ almighty. This poor woman. 5 months after she vanished without a trace while out on a bike ride on Mother's Day, this fucking dude killed her on Mother's Day. A mail-in ballot for the 2020 election had been submitted under her name. When Chaffee County sergeant went to the clerk's office to check out the ballot, he saw it had been handwritten and dated on October 15th. He even voted early like a commie. But according to the arrest affidavit, it changed that it did not, question the 50-year-old about his alleged voter fraud. Just days before he was charged with first-degree murder and a slew of other crimes connected to it. I wanted Trump to win. I just thought, give him another vote. I figure all these other guys are cheating. Or if you knew his wife was going to vote for Trump anyways, you didn't know it was it wasn't okay to vote on behalf of your spouse. Again, you're not married once you've murdered someone. But authorities believe Morphew intentionally took advantage of his wife's disappearance to ensure another vote for the former president. On Thursday night, prosecutors charged him with one felony count of forgery of public records, one misdemeanor count of elections, mail-in, ballot defense. By the way, remember when I was saying when you commit voter fraud, especially when you mail it in, we are so getting close to 700. We've dropped below. And we've dropped below 700 on our Twitch subscriptions. So please subscribe, because you have to re-up it all the time. People always forget. So if you haven't subscribed, if you got Amazon Prime, please subscribe on Twitch. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, Cosmic Rose got a Motang shirt. Yay! While his bond was set at 1,000, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Authorities began investigating into Suzanne Morphew's disappearance on May 10th after a neighbor reported she did not return home from a bike ride. For days, local and federal authorities conducted an exhaustive search over a 2.5-mile area near Maysville, Colorado home. Police now believe that a certain scenario occurred near her home that resulted in the discovery of her bike, but not her body. Yike, what's that story? Yeesh. Oh, and he put out a video offering $200,000 reward for her whereabouts. Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. The girls need you. No questions asked, however much they want. I'll do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad, he said in the May video. Despite Morphew's public pleas for his wife, questions began to surface about his possible roles in her disappearance. It's always the partner. And when it isn't, it's a serial killer. If it's not the person they're married to, it's this dude. Just saying. People don't know the truth. They're going to think what they're going to think, blah, blah, blah. At one point, I want to say one of the interviews, Morphew also slammed, he attacked cops. So this is the other thing. Trump supporter murders his wife on Mother's Day, votes for Trump using her ballot, and then slams the cops. I mean, I'm surprised that Rudy isn't working for him pro bono at this point. Morphew also slammed the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office during the interview, stating he believed the local authorities screwed this whole investigation up from the beginning, and now they're trying to cover it up and blame it on me. At one point he said, "It's what you would have wanted," is the quote that I was looking for, but I don't know where I saw it. I think it was on one of the other articles that I saw about. I think what she wanted would have been to be alive. But it's, it's nice to know that Trump is nailing down the murderer vote.